Hi everybody, I'm just going to run through some of the very basic features of SBPM, which is Super Bulk Post Maker for WordPress. I've installed a test site here, which is WordPress version 3.6, the very latest version, and I'm just going to actually upload and install the plugin now. So we go to Add New on the plugins area, choose to upload, and then we'll browse for the file itself. And it's within my Dropbox, so if I just browse through here, just bear with me while I do this. That's in alphabetical order. To the very latest version, which you'll be provided with, which is the zip file. So if you click on Install Now, that will upload the very small file, and then you'll be able to activate plugin there. The SBPM appears under the Settings menu here. So down there, click SBPM. That takes you to the page of the plugin there. Now currently the site is just a basic WordPress site. There's nothing, haven't done anything, haven't changed any data. There's your basic Hello World page. There's a category called Uncategorized. It's just, I haven't changed anything on there at all. So what we'll do is we'll just go through and I'll just show you a very basic way to create some posts on SBPM. So here, the main areas that you're going to look at really is box number 2 and box number 3, which is your keywords and your content. Now in the keywords, this is actually going to be the names of your posts within WordPress or pages, depending on whether you choose for that option. So what we'll do is we'll just type some details in here, and we'll put, for example, bike tyre, and then bike repair kit, bike puncture kit, tyre repair kit. As you can see, I'm just entering some very basic post titles here. Tyre repair glue. Oops. So you can imagine we may be making a particular niche site around this type of product, maybe featuring Amazon or eBay data. So those are going to be the names of the posts there. We're going to create 5 posts. What we'll do is we'll just put some content in here. So within this area you can actually include spun data or spun content, which is where the power of the SBPM comes in. But for now I'll just put in something very basic, and I'll show you how you can refer to this information as well. So for example, we could type here, do you fancy buying a good quality, and then what we'll do is we'll put in an anchor here. So click the link below. Okay, so you can imagine perhaps this is obviously just a very basic test here, but by using this %% keyword %%, this actually refers to the data that we're going to enter here. And what we'll do is we will just maybe spin some of this content. I'll say getting, buying, obtaining, finding a great, amazing quality keyword from Amazon, and if so, yes, click the link below. Okay, so that's really just a very basic piece of spun content there. What we can do is once we've entered that data there, we can then click on Save SBPM settings, and then what we can do is just run a quick test just to see what sort of information that will create, or what post that will create. So we can click on the preview button here and it'll actually generate a few of these yellow boxes here, which is like an individual post. So if we just scroll down, as you can see here, we've got the bike tyre, bike repair kit, bike puncture kit, etc. So each one of these posts will be, that one will be bike tyre, bike repair kit, bike puncture kit. That will be the post title. And in here you can actually see that it's actually spun the content. So do you fancy buying an amazing quality bike tyre from Amazon? So it's pulled in that title from there. On this one, do you fancy obtaining a good quality bike repair kit from Amazon? So as you can see, you can pull that information through. Currently it's going to go into like the uncategorized area, and it's all going to be posted on today's date. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and actually create those posts, and we just go down here, click on the Make Posts button, and then as you can see here at the top of the screen, it just follows through and shows you which posts have been added and also how many have been added, updated or skipped, which we can come on to later on. It's just different ways you can deal with any existing posts on the system. So then if we just go ahead and look at the actual demo site itself, you'll be able to see those posts. So you've got bike tyre, bike repair kit, so that's all fairly straightforward. One thing that SBPM does that a lot of other similar plugins do, or don't do, sorry, is that it's actually created the post itself. It's not wrapped up in any extra sort of tags or data. So what you've got there is actually precisely what you wanted to post. So you could then go in and edit that manually if you wanted to, or tweak the settings within each post if you needed to. Obviously I need to change my permalinks there to the post title, but you kind of get the idea that the bike repair kit will be the post title for that particular one. If we just perhaps go a bit further, what I'll do is I'll just delete those 5 posts, which you can do through box number 9 here, the get out of jail box. You can either delete the SBPM posts from all categories or from a particular category, so we'll just delete all of them for now. So that's all of those 5 deleted. If we just go back to the site itself, you'll see that they've been removed. So, okay, so it's just back to normal again. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll just add some pre and post title options. So these words will appear before and after the title in WordPress. So we can also spin in here. So we can say buy, get, or cheap. Yeah. Now. Online. Okay, so again, we'll save the settings. And now if we create those posts, what it's going to do is it's going to spin that information and add that to the beginning of the post names for each post that it creates. It doesn't follow through to the keyword tag here. The keyword tag will still be bike tyre, bike repair kit, etc. So if we click on make posts, as you can see here, the data at the top here has said that it's added 5 posts called cheap bike tyre here, cheap bike repair kit online, buy bike puncture kit here, etc. So again, if we go back and look at the demo site, you can see here that those posts have been created, but also note that it didn't pull the entire title through for that %% keyword %% handler. It's just pulled that bike tyre data, which is what we wanted. Okay, we'll take this a bit further. We'll just delete all the posts again and go back to scratch. We'll leave those in there, why not? Okay, what we're going to do now is we're actually going to add in a category for each one of these. And the way to do this is to type in the category followed by a /. So for these ones we can type in this one, that's a tyre, and this one can be repair kit, for example, and this one might be repair kit, and then we can put repair accessories. Oops, for the last one. Okay, and we'll save the settings again. So if you just remember that the format of this is category and then a / and then the actual post title again. And what we can also do here is pull in another anchor. So we can actually type in % category %, and then maybe put something in like this. Again, just a test, just to show you how it all works. So we'll save the SBPM settings and then click on make posts. What that'll do is it'll again add 5 titles there, or 5 posts, sorry. Again, it's spun this information here, but now if we actually go and look at the site itself, you can see that what it's done is it's actually created categories. So tyres, repair kit, and then the very last one is repair accessories. And again, we can see this over here. We've got 4 categories there. I suppose if it was me and I was building a site like this, then I might just rename that to something else or get rid of it. But there you go. That shows you the capabilities of SBPM. Okay, now consider if we want to make these posts appear over a set period of time, randomly every, say, day or so, rather than having them all appear at once. Imagine if you had hundreds of keywords and data in there, it may look strange to Google that all of this information appears at the same time. So what we'll do is initially we'll delete all the posts again, and then what we'll do is over here we're going to choose a date to post from, which will probably be today, and also a time period. So we'll probably go between 24 and 48 hours between each post, and it will choose randomly between those two numbers, even down to minutes and seconds as well. So we can use these three icons here to enter the correct date format. This one will launch a little date picker. This one will enter the current date and time, or this one will actually go into the WordPress database and pull back the most recent or the latest post, or the one which is furthest off in the future. So therefore you could come back to your site, decide that you have some more keywords to add, choose that, and then those will be appended on if you've got more scheduled in the future. So we just click this button here, it loads up a little JavaScript date picker here. It's roughly the current time. So if we just click on that, that should enter the data into the field there, and obviously you can change that. So what we're looking for now is that we're going to create 5 posts starting from now, and then they'll be spaced out between 24 and 48 hours. So we'll just save those settings before we proceed, and we'll make the posts. Again, 5 posts have been created. If we check the site itself, we can see there that nothing has actually shown up, so I'm guessing that the posts are actually scheduled. So if we look in here, we can see, if we look at the dates here, this one is scheduled on the 7th, so that's the first post is going to be in a couple of days, and then the 9th, and then the 10th, 12th and 14th. And if we just quickly look at the quick edit, we can see here is it's going to be posting at about 3:30 in the morning. The next one's going to be posted at about 8:41 in the evening. So it's very random the way that it works. So you can actually space your posts out over time so that they kind of drip feed, which is also good for Google. So as it comes back and looks at your site, it will see that there's new content added and be more inclined to come back and get that indexed. Okay, what we're going to do now is look at some of the other features that SBPM allows you to use when creating posts or pages. If you scroll down to box number 4 and 5 here, you can see that you have the option to add post tags to each of your posts automatically. Now this will be, the data will be entered in a comma separated field here. So for example, you could type in bike tires, bikes, repair, cycling, and you can also use spintax in here. So you could enter good, great, cheap products. So it'll spin automatically between those words there. If you're happy with that information, you can then set the number of tags to be used for each post, or if you leave it blank, then a random number gets chosen between, how many we've got there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different tags. So a number between 0 and 6 will be chosen for each of your posts. So we just click on save there, and again if we go down and make posts, the 5 posts will be created, and if we go back and check the site, we can see on there that this first one here, for example, has got no tags on there at all, so that was a 0, but this one has actually been tagged with a few different ones there, and again with this one, 1, 2, 3, 4 tags. This one's been no tags, and 1, 2, 3 tags on that one. So again, randomly chosen to make it look more realistic, I guess. One thing that you could do is actually go off to a site like Ubersuggest, which is good at providing related keywords, and stick those all in there in a comma separated format, and choose a fairly sort of low number of tags, maybe 2 or 3 per post, and that will give you quite a lot of additional content that Google can index as well based around your site. Also within this page you have the option for the SEO area. So you have the title, description and keywords, and also the option here to double spin. Now SBPM works with the all-in-one SEO pack, which I still think it's the best one out there. It's not quite as bloated as the Yoast WordPress SEO plugin, and it's kind of coming on par with that one now. So for example, if you wanted to add some data in here, you could use some of the placeholders such as keyword, and also in your description you can maybe enter any data in there that you want to. What you can also do is if you tick the little box here that says double spin SEO description, what it will do for each post is it will take the data that's in here and spin it again and put that as your all-in-one SEO description. So that data will be slightly different from what's on the post, making it look more unique. And again, very similar to the tags here, you can put comma-separated list of keywords or spun keywords in there to allow you to put that data in, although I'm not sure many people use the keywords stuff anymore. Just looking at some of the other boxes here, you've got the options here to either work with existing posts, whether you want to overwrite them or not, or just skip over them if they already exist. I'll show you how that works in a second. You can also choose to make posts or pages, and also some WordPress hosting or PHP hosting has a 30-second timeout, and if you're working with a large amount of spun content and a large number of posts, that timeout can often stop SBPM from working. So I'll put this little tick box in here which you can either turn on or off, that allows you to try and bypass that 30-second timeout, and then it turns it back on again afterwards. I can't guarantee that it'll work with all hosts because it depends on their security settings, I believe. Certainly works with my dream host and my Servint box with no problem. You also have the option here to automatically add contact and privacy pages. The contact data uses the Clean Contact plugin, which you can click on there. Just inserts a very simplistic contact form and a very generic kind of standard privacy policy, which I've downloaded from another site. If you wanted to upload any data into the keywords or the content area, for example, if you had a spun file that you had sitting around on your hard drive, you can choose to upload the file. Just click on there and it'll allow you to browse for the file, and then choose whether you want it to go into keywords or content and click on update. And of course, which you've seen us use already, the get out of jail area allows you to delete any kind of SBPM posts that have been created either from all categories or by single category. So for example, these you can see here the categories that we created earlier on, and we could just choose to delete the post from that category if we wanted to. That's useful if you're adding SBPM posts to an existing site that already has categories and posts on there. So you could choose a brand new category for your SBPM posts, and if you needed to, you could just go through and remove those if you wanted. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll save the settings there. I just wanted to show you about the overwriting the posts. So if we set it to skip and save the settings again, what we're looking for here is that SBPM will create 5 new posts again, but if the post title matches any existing post, it will actually skip over that and it won't actually create it again. Now this is also interesting when we're using these pre and post titles here, because they're going to create very kind of unique titles for each one of these, so we may not see any duplicates, but let's have a go. So we click on make posts again. As we can see here, it's actually created 3 posts which we've listed here, and 2 posts were skipped. So as it's gone through the list of those 5 posts, it's automatically spun a new title and then detected that that one already exists, so it's actually skipped over and not made any updates to those. What you can also do is you can choose to overwrite with new content. So for example, if let me just save those settings. For example, in here, if we decided that we'd made say 50 posts and we decided that we'd made a slight mistake and we wanted to update it by adding a new line on the end, such as that, we can then save the settings and then make the posts, and then as SPM goes through, it will actually update any existing posts that it finds with the same title. So if you're not using this information here, you would expect to see that it would update all of the posts rather than add 2 new ones, which it's kind of found and thinks are brand new. So again, it's another way of going through and changing the data that's on your site. Another feature is the option to create pages rather than posts. So again, we'd just select pages, save the settings, and then choose make posts. What we've got there is the 4 pages added and 1 updated. So let's just have a look here. Cheap tyre repair. Can't quite see why it's done that, but anyway. We go on to all pages here. We can then see that it's actually created all of those pages rather than posts. So you could have SBPM actually set to do that for you. Another feature that we have also is to create a hierarchy of pages as well within SBPM. So for example, if you wanted, let's see, we just change this data slightly. So we have one page called bike tyre, and then what we'll do is we'll set the other pages to have bike tyre as the category. Now of course pages don't use categories, although there are plugins that allow you to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually, let's just delete that, create a page at the top called bike tyre, and then 4 pages underneath there, which you'll see. Let's just save the settings. We could add that data in there, I just removed it. So we'll just clear down all the posts that are in there at the moment, and then leave it on pages, say make posts. Okay, 5 pages have been added, and again if we go and look at the pages, you can see that there's a bike tyre at the top, and then puncture kit, repair kit, etc. goes down underneath those, underneath that one at the top there. And you can see that you know, quite simply you could enter a number of different keywords or titles in there to create quite a nice hierarchy of pages on your site. So yeah, again, that's just another function that's available within SBPM. Within the post content area, you have a number of various different placeholders, which we've seen already, category and keyword, but you can also use things like site name that allows you to put in the name of your website, just to kind of help keep the content unique. Obviously you would use some very good spun content in there with maybe some Amazon items underneath, which you can use code to generate automatically through their widgets. What I'll do is I'll discuss some of the more advanced features in a separate video, but this is essentially the basics of how to use SBPM to create a site. Okay, thanks very much.